50 Cent get slammed on social media for, quote, homophobic. They're saying he's homophobic. So he put this post up. I put it on the screen there for the folks watching on YouTube. And it's Amari Hardworking Tank. And the caption reads, oh, why would you be taking pictures with this sugar tank right now? Wait a minute. First Young Buck. Now this. I'm dead. Now, we all know that 50 Cent was pretty much joking, but if you look under the video, it has about 7,000 comments, many of them going in on 50 Cent, talking about, why are you making fun of somebody, even if you, not that Tank is gay, but why are you making a reference? You know, I'm calling him a sugar tank right now. You know what I mean? Pretty much referring to him as gay. Are you scared? 50 Cent later did respond and said, look, man, my mother was gay, mother effer, LOL, responding to the people. It's all humorous, it's all a joke, but some people are taking this saying, man, like, this is a real serious issue, and they're really, you know, calling for 50 Cent's head on this one. What do you think about this particular event that happened today?
I don't think anything of it, because I lived in 2006. I lived in 1994. I lived in a day, basically, where this wasn't taken as seriously. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that being homophobic is right. I'm not sitting here saying being heterophobic is right, because we see a lot of heterophobic people out here nowadays too. It's almost not cool to be heterophobic. If you are, you got to hide doing that shit. But anyway, I don't think 50 Cent meant any malice. He is somebody that goes on social media and jokes about everybody often. You got to have hard skin. If you deal with 50 Cent, or if you're on 50 Cent's timeline, 9 times out of 10, he's probably making fun of you. But it's all in good games. It's all in good fun. I don't think that anybody should be taking this so personal. I didn't see the people that he was harassing over money sitting back going, asking for his head, saying he needed to be canceled this, or anybody else that he joked on saying that he needed to be canceled this. So I don't understand why now that this particular demographic of people feel as though he's joking on them, that now he has to be canceled. It's just a little bit of victim.
Yeah.
Smell like a victim to me.
I just think that, you know, in the day and age that we're in, man, like you said, we grew up where it was, you know, looked at, you know, to be that word GAY, it was kind of looked down upon. And I think there's been a lot of negative things that happen to those people. Obviously, we've seen it. I mean, being harassed, and, you know, definitely don't, you know, condone or agree with anybody being discriminated against,
Absolutely
harassed, beaten for being, you know, homosexual or gay or anything like that. But sometimes when you know 50 Cent, you know his demeanor, kind of like the Instagram comedian. He's just joking around about this thing. I think a lot of people take this type of stuff too far. But, I mean, he has to know, though, that when you put something up like this in this day and age, that you're going to get this type of response from people calling for this, calling for that, saying you're homophobic and things like that. He has to know that. But then again, his defense is, look, my mother, I had to deal with my mom, you know, being, you know, quote unquote, homosexual, you know, as a child and growing up. So, I mean, it is what it is. You take it with a grain of salt. I mean, but I mean, I would know that if I would make a joke like that and I was a celebrity like 50 Cent of his status, you're going to get a lot of backlash. But ultimately, I think it'll go away.
I think that you're right. I think that he knew 100% that he was going to get the backlash. And I think that he 100% did not care. Because him saying sugar tank should not be taken seriously. It should not be taken as a bash. He's clowning on the dude that got clowned last week for something wild he said. And he tried to, or he made light of it. We all know Tank ain't gay. And if he was, he was. It doesn't matter. Who cares? But he was obviously clowning in this situation, man.
Yeah. I mean,
and it was funny.
Oh, don't say that, Sam, man. They're going to get you now. They're going to get you. Oh, man, get him, y'all.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and get me for what I think is funny, man. Y'all funny for that.
I mean, you got to look at the comments. People said, oh, they got good chemistry. I mean, some things are made as jokes, man. It's just like, you know, the comedian like Kevin Hart, you know, or anybody else. They say something and all of a sudden everybody's up in arms, man. People just got to lighten up and take it for what it is, man. I mean, without laughter, without jokes, man, life would be boring, man.
You're on, like, we're in a day and age. It's crazy to me because I've never seen so many victims and so many things getting blown out of the water, but such ruthlessness and aggressiveness going on in these comments. I've never seen so many vile things said in comments that I've seen in 2019 in these comments. But then the second somebody wants a celebrity or somebody that has some kind of fame or some kind of notoriety to them, now all of a sudden what they say is absolutely terrible. It's this, it's that. Like, yo, y'all backwards as hell out here. It's wild.
And then, you know, I think, you know, pretty much just a publicity stunt by 50. He wanted this to happen because everybody's talking about power. This dude supposedly getting shot and what happened and everything. So it's perfect now that people start to talk about this, it starts trending, hashtags come out, 50 said this, even though it's short lived, it might be a day or two while it's a hot topic. It's still something that, I think is something that he planned is going to only benefit, him in the long run.
He might have even got Tank some more streams and some more sales with the joint. You know what I mean? His album is doing great right now because of the controversy.
What do you think about Tank's album?
I wish I liked it more. It's cool. Tank is an R&B legend. He does his thing. He has a couple records on there that are bangers. I ain't gonna take that away from him, but he also has some records that sound like today. And
Tank?
And there's nothing wrong with today, but it's like, nah, dog. I want some R&B. I want an R&B album. I was talking to some producers today, and it's like one of the things that's missing is just that male R&B that we used to get to Usher, to Trey Songz, even to Chris Brown. He does a 42-song album, and it's great. But it's not that R&B that that we were looking for. Jacquees is cool, but he's this new age R&B. We're looking at that old R&B.
Do you blame him though, Sam, man? Because I'm sitting and I'm thinking, I'm like, they already know that if they give you that raw, straight R&B album, that they're not gonna chart like that. They got a better chance of making something that sounds like now, the wave now, the cadences and the beats now, that they can get their thing hot and get themselves relevant. Not that he's irrelevant, but if you get something that's popping on the billboard that's hot, you automatically go through the roof again, as opposed to them putting that straight R&B out for the fans who love it. They know that it's not going to really do what it's going to do because people are just kind of, don't want that sound anymore, it seems like.
I agree with what you said in regards to people thinking that they have to go with today's sound because the sound of R&B is no longer needed. But I could not disagree with that comment more. The sound of R&B is no longer wanted because there's a demographic of people who are dying and thirsting for that old R&B, particularly in our demographic. But then what's going to happen is there'll be a trickle down effect, kind of like, I'm going to give you an example, like a Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars ain't doing nothing but doo-wop. He ain't doing nothing but what La Bamba and Richie Valens did in the 50s. But he put new age beats to it. He threw some crazy 808s behind it, but the same melodies and the same feeling, the same tones behind it. 2020, 2021, 2022, you're going to see a resurgence in R&B, in particular male R&B, where it's going to be a breath of fresh air as opposed to a dated old sound. It's going to have to be done right. The production's going to have to match the melodies and things like that, because we had trap soul for a while and people were still messing with the auto-tune and doing their thing. So you're still going to have to give them those eclectic kind of beats and those chords. But R&B is coming back, man, and I think it's coming back within the next 3 years. You can mark my word on that.
I can't wait, man, because you got a lot of guys, Usher, Trey Songz, and the list goes on. You just kind of just want to hear those albums again and not see them conform so much and try to match today's sound, man. It gets sickening sometimes.
It gets corny, it gets watered down, and it's not a need for it because music is music, man. You can create great music and timeless music no matter what you're doing. And for some reason, R&B fell off, whether it be because they weren't charting anymore, they weren't giving it as much attention.
Right.
Some reason the R&B singers strayed away from it because financially it wasn't appetizing to them anymore. But it has to come back, man. It's a need for it.
Yeah, definitely, man. But you're tuning into the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast today with your brother Sam Manton, old God over here. You're tuned into episode 257. If you're loving the content today, don't forget to hit that 5-star rating. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you will be alerted as soon as we drop a new episode. Now, news came in today, Sam, man, according to reports that the U.S. government prosecutors made a request to the judge to seize Ralo's jewelry collection. Now, the DEA pretty much is alleging that the jewelry collection that Ralo owns is allegedly part of the drug empire that Ralo had in Atlanta. Now, a while ago, I can't remember how long ago it was, but we reported that Ralo was pretty much arrested. The feds have been watching him, and they brought him in for pretty much transporting marijuana, a lot of it, pounds of it, from California to Atlanta. And they're pretty much saying this is how he was able to buy, the jewelry, the cars, not the music. He was able to do it with the drug money and whatnot. Now, they took so much stuff. I'm not going to go down the list. You know what I mean? This dude had mad jewelry, but they're confiscating it. Usually, this is typical what happens, in a fake case like this. They're going to pretty much try to prove that everything that you did was a result of drug earnings. But obviously, he can probably prove different. He's a top rapper that made a lot of money in rapping. But what do you think about this new development coming out by way of allhiphop.com today?
Thank God for outlets like this. Thank God for outlets or the day and age in 2019 where you get other forms of information provided for you, because what's happening here is you have media hand in hand with the law enforcement or hand in hand with whoever's pushing the gavel or pushing the cord, and can easily villainize or demonize this brother sitting behind bars who really does not have a voice outside of the internet or things like that. We've seen a lot of this happen before.